Welcome back. We're talking about abstract organic sculpture. At the moment we've moved on from the definitions of abstract, organic, and sculpture. And now it's time to start looking at different examples of abstract sculptures. To Google, to begin with, don't type in abstract under Google. What you want to Google is the word sculpture or exciting sculpture or unique sculpture, or if you have a specific animal, let's say type in elephant sculpture or juxtaposed sculpture. I am only going to give you a few examples. You guys are teens. You are old enough to come up with creative words. There you go, like the word creative. Creative words to find things that you want to look at. The word creative might be that word. Anyways, I want you to be self-reliant. I want you to move forward and find pictures quickly, okay? Give yourself less than a day to find the 7 images you need to find. Okay, so examples that I liked, these don't have to be anything that resembles your tastes, but I found a human that's missing sections in her mid-torso and in her knee and around her neck. Not to mention, she is simplified. Her face, her hair is very simple. Her arms have even been removed. So I would call this more so of an omission. Over here you have an exaggeration. This is an old, or based off of like old sculpture, ancient sculpture. You have a tiny head, bigger arms, even bigger lower torso. How about this one here? You've got a hand sculpted with it like and attached to a face in some way. And the hand is squishing the face. Those things can happen, but not in the order that they've been assembled. So this is kind of a reinvention. This is also a reinvention. You have a goat head with human features. So even if you wanted to sculpt the goat with some human-like features, that would be sculpture alone. That would be abstract organic sculpture. But here you have a human and a goat combined, so that's a reinvention. Speaking of reinvention, you have what I call a spirit animal. So this little girl's spirit animal is a rabbit. So she is a rabbit and the rabbit is she, right? The rabbit is her. Here's another omission. If you look at this, the artist probably sculpted the body normally and then or carefully removed rings or certain sections in the mid-torso to create this effect. Here you have a mid-torso. Yes, it's fairly realistic if you look at that person's face, but parts of it have been kind of cartoonified. Also, there's a hand within a hand within a hand within a hand. I don't know if you can see that. So parts of this have been abstracted to a certain extent. This person's ears are way too small, so that's an exaggeration. And I can't look around this whole sculpture, but I bet the whole feel is kind of reinvented, exaggerated, cartoonified. Same artist here. But they have like piled rubble to create the lower torso. Parts of her face have been scratched off and even cracked off. That's a form of destruction and reinvention at the same time. So here I have, I think, 7 or 8 different examples. Let me back up. Well, what I want to see on your journal. So make sure you Google different creative words to come up with different results so you can find some excellent examples of abstract sculpture. The next thing I want you to do is write down a list of 7 to 10, let me autofocus that, different organisms. So you're going to create a list of organisms. Here I wrote down raven, which is also a crow, a frog, an owl, a bull, a human / fetus. A fetus is an embryo, so like a baby that hasn't been born yet. My wife is pregnant, so it is on my mind. A tree and a phoenix. Make sure that your list is related to things on your mind, things that you can relate to. Do not sculpt a pill bug or an earthworm, because deep down inside you know they're easy to draw or sculpt, and therefore they'll make an easy assignment. You're not going to learn anything from it. Secondly, a big issue with sculpting something like that is that you actually may not have any interest in it. Therefore, you have no interest in finishing a project like that. So make sure you are brainstorming things that you actually like. Okay, so just so you know, crow is my favorite animal. We have frogs at home. We saw an owl last summer. Bulls remind me of Spain, which is a country I've traveled to. Like I said, my wife is pregnant. Tree, a lot of sculptures and paintings in my past are related to an avocado tree from my childhood. And lastly, the phoenix is our school mascot. Anyways, so you have a list of 7 to 10 organisms. Next thing you do is you start drawing. So here I kind of explored a crow. So just so you know, you don't have to go in order. I just wanted to see what I could draw with a crow. Secondly, you don't have to draw all 7 or all 10 organisms. You can obsess over one and just draw it a million times if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can just hop around on your list from thing to thing in no particular order. So here you have a raven. I kind of liked where this is going, but I stopped a little too soon. So make sure you draw, and try your hardest to make it good. Try your hardest to make it so you're kind of excited about it. You like it a little bit. An example of not liking something is I was going to go for an Hecho in Mexico style crow. I didn't like this one actually. I tried. You could see the different excuse me, different beak lengths and shapes. I didn't like this partly because I was kind of relying on what I thought a crow looked like in my head, and I was being very unsuccessful at it. So here is a crow. I just copied the outline of a crow off the internet. So I found a picture, a photograph of a crow. As you're abstracting, make sure that you're using photographs of these animals, photographs of these creatures. Don't be doing cartoon versions of them because that's already an abstraction. I want you to be the creator, the inventor of this abstraction. So here I took a photograph of a crow and I drew the outline, and then I started creating shapes kind of a la this artist style. And even this artist style, like I like the patterns and the shapes that they were using. And that didn't work. So I drew an owl. I moved away from crow after 3 attempts. Remember, owl was like the 5th one down on my list. So I drew this and I kind of liked it, but I thought it was a little too cutesy. I'm still kind of doing the Aztec-y, Spanish kind of feel. I still didn't like it a whole lot. So here I drew a fetus and a tree. Here's the full length of the tree. Here's the fetus. I kind of liked where this is going. I would call this my number 1 or number 2 so far in order. And here's the one I really liked where it was going. This is kind of going in the direction I want. It's kind of got that graffiti feel / Aztec feel / contemporary art style that I really like. And I think that's it for my examples. So once you have 7 ideas, I want you to pick and choose your favorite one. Keep in mind, you don't have to do all of them. I've already said that once, but I'm going to say it again. You do not have to draw every single one of these. The fact that there's a list of 7 and I want several, i.e. 7 different sketches, is just coincidence. Alright, so pick your favorite one and then talk to Mr. Martinez, and then you get to sculpt it. You get a lump of clay. You have to decide what size you want. So let's say I wanted to sculpt this right here. The next thing you want to decide is how large you want to sculpt it, and that'll be your next recording, your next video.